Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Each country has its own strategy, war strategy, because it has its own way of waging war, offensively or defensively. All that is part of the strategy. And you calculate that, or you plan it according to your geopolitical interests and your geographical position, including your military capabilities and your possible enemies' capabilities. That's basic foundational way of looking at things in a war or in designing, planning your defense strategy. In this case, we have Ukraine and Russia, who supposedly are the only parties involved in what's going on in Ukraine. I would think that's much more than that, and we're going to find out later who's who and who's what. I think it's a lot of layers and nuances. It's not that clear cut. Nevertheless, the Russians have a certain kind of strategy, war strategy, and they, if you look at their way of waging war, offensively or defensively, you find out that they are patient. You may say, well, what are you talking about, Emil? Well, I think they've been patient for some time already, but patience sometimes is self-imposed because you're, how should I put it? Of course, it's self-imposed because it's patience is your patient, but it's just it fits your needs at that point. For instance, let's say we can say Russia was patient with Ukraine and the West, not Ukraine, with the West, with the NATO, for at least, I don't know, 20 years, all right? More than that, but they didn't have the capability to do anything about it, so they had to be patient, and you can call that self-restraint, which they had. But they decided that there was a point where you couldn't be patient anymore, and they ran out of patience and options in December 2021. And not only that, but they felt big enough to say, you know what, fuck off, let's go. So it was a coincidence between their abilities and the patience. And then when those intersected in the graph, that's it. And that's why we have this February 24th tennis game. So what's going on here? We have a statement or statements made by one of the Ukrainian, I don't know what's your official state spokeswoman, and this girl right here, okay? And if you look at it, they all mostly look at her clothes. She wears those clothes like she's in a war zone. She's not, all right? I guarantee you, her life didn't change much from her waking up in the morning at home, her home, getting in a car, I don't know if it's her car or someone else's car, going to work, the same office that she has, doing the same shit she does every day, more television though and camera appearance. That's all she does more. So she wears that kind of camouflage bullshit clothes for you and I. And we don't fall for it because we're not below 86 IQ. That is supposed to give us, the audience, the impression that that's over there, it's really wow, it's bad, man, it's bad. Yeah. No, she can come in her regular skirt or whatever she wears, and she used to wear before this. She can perfectly do that with high heels, no panties, or whatever she decides, okay? There's nothing like that. You see the weasel, Zelensky, wearing that bullshit clothes, like, I'm in a war. What, is he gonna start running or something? Is like ready to jump in a tank if the Russians land in Kiev? Is that what it is? Yes, that's exactly what they tried to convey to you and I and everybody else. The weasel, Zelensky, the clown, he showed up in the United States in the same clothes, like he couldn't wear a fucking suit. Why do you think he wore those clothes? To make us, oh my god, he's coming, the hero of the world. He comes straight from the front, man. He just dropped his AK-47. He came in front of the stupid idiots on a Capitol Hill, right? And he delivered the speech that everybody was like, whew, if you know what I mean. And then he went to the White House, and then he's back in business, got his AK again, and it's pop, right there. Bull fucking shit. Okay, let's go with that one. So when I see this kind of this public relation, public, whatever you want to call it, stunt. It makes me throwing up, all right? Unless you're in the front, in the trenches, or you're in the tank, or in an airplane, they can wear whatever. I'm just saying this is why these motherfuckers are wearing that thing. They shouldn't. I mean, not they shouldn't. As I said, they can wear it, but we don't fall for this BS, okay? I apologize for my foul language. Anyway, so here we have this article from Ukrainska Pravda from Tuesday, 27 December. This lady, I'm sorry, I don't know if she's a lady, but she's a woman, that's for sure. Russians want to reach administrative border of Donetsk Oblast by end of year. Hey, baby doll, I think you are partly correct. I think they, as I said before, they're not in a hurry to give necessary a signal. They just retreated from wherever they retreated, and you said you're gonna win the war. There was a strategic retreat. You did it. You had your counteroffensive. Great, but that's temporarily yours. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that that's going to be taken back by the Russians. We'll see, but I'm 99.9% that the Russian says, well, we got to do this. They're better here. We take our losses. We're going to fight another day when we're going to come and sweep them. That's how I think it's going to be. I might be wrong, but I think I'm 1% wrong. That's how the evidence that I have from these guys, not from the Russians. Hey, Lavrov, what's the next move? Oh, speak with Shoigu. Hey, Shoigu, speak with, what's his name? The Wagner Group guy. Yeah, okay. Prigozhin. Oh, you told me to shut up? Okay. Is that no, I don't have that kind of information or connections. But from these guys, now the Russian occupiers have set themselves the goal of reaching the administrative border of Donetsk Oblast by the end of this year. I think it's just for you to get ready. And how can they do it? By winning, right? So are you telling me that they're going to win or something? Why do you have this talk? That's not their goal. The goal is to, the 4 goals, recognize Crimea, demilitarization, denazification, make sure that those guys are, now you have to recognize the new realities, as the Russians are saying, which is that Donbass belongs to us and not on. Donbass belongs to us, yes. And other things, no NATO for you. I mean, those are the things they will achieve. Achieving by the end of the year, no, if they could achieve everything they want by the end of the year, they would be, from their perspective, great. Why? No more deaths on all sides. The source, Hanna Maliar, Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine, during the National Joint 24/7 newscast. So she had to wear that, you think? I mean, how long it takes you to change your attire? 37 seconds? No more than that? I mean, considering she probably doesn't wear underwear, so let's say 32 seconds. And you don't even have to wear shoes or anything, or I don't know, whatever. It's just a stunt, and I don't like this because that tells me that's weasel. You're not genuine. You are not genuine. Showing like that in front of people. You prove something that is not there. Like I would show right now in a camouflage with a mask and all that and say, hey, I'm actually ready to go to fight in Ukraine. And really? Where the fuck are you, Amy? Like 3,000, 9,000, 1,000 miles away from that I'm going to show up in camouflage. Okay. And I'm quoting this Maliar. They have set themselves the goal of reaching the administrative borders of Donetsk Oblast by the end of the calendar year. I think they said that too, but they take their time. And then she says, Maliar said that the city of Bakhmut is our eastern fortress, now where Russians have concentrated the most military equipment and weapons. Hey, yesterday and the day before, and the day before yesterday and the day before, blah, 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 they said that actually, that this was like a rhetorical question, like we don't from the Ukrainian side, we don't understand why the Russians are focusing on Bakhmut. I think it's just a symbolic win if they would win, because it doesn't have any value to themselves or to the war. And besides, they just advance like 2 meters a day, which is 2 yards a day, and with tremendous losses. So why we don't understand why they are focused on that. That's why they say has no great importance to the Russians. But we find out that Bakhmut is our eastern fortress. Fortress is one. It's not fortresses, one of them. No, the fortress. You know, the house on the hill, the shining house, whatever. That's exactly what she says. So actually it is the kingpin of your defense system, fortress. So you see how you find out what they said before is a lie, or this is a lie, or, you know, consistency, baby doll. Now, details. Maliar said that the city of Bakhmut is our eastern fortress. Okay, and I'm saying, I'm quoting what she says. There, on the Bakhmut front, was a slight advance of the Russian forces, but the enemy was pushed out. Now, if it was a slight advance, you have to imagine that it was a big advance, right? And the enemy was pushed out. I don't think it was pushed out. Maybe it was temporarily stopped. You have to say like this: when it's the other side's achievements, they will downplay it like 3 times. When it's their successes, right here, you have to, you know, cut it 3 times. As of today, the enemy is trying to surround the city, but they're also not succeeding. The Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine said, okay, now the Institute of Study of War has observed that the Russian forces' rate of advance on Bakhmut front has slowed, take it easy, and suggested that the invaders will initiate a tactical or operational pause. Well, I didn't know they were in a full swing. Did you? No, all I heard it was they barely make it, barely can do it, but we push them back. And now we find out by the statement made by the Study of War, Institute of Study of War, the think tank in Washington, D.C., that actually the Russians were sprinting, and all of a sudden we slow them down, like a jog, basically. So you see, from this kind of statements, you realize that they are lying. We are all lying. Okay, let's start with that disclaimer. Now, according to Serhiy Cherevati, spokesperson of Eastern Grouping of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the Eastern Front is currently the epicenter of Ukraine's armed resistance against Russia, with the Bakhmut and Avdiivka fronts and some parts of Luhansk Oblast being the main hotspots. Anyway, so they are telling you the truth. You have to look and find it like this, because they're not going to tell you, hey, we're losing, those guys are on the sprint to the finish line. No. So Miss whatever Haidai, what's her name? Your name was not Haidai. Haidai is the guy. Anyway, yes, they set the goal, not that goal. They have other goals that it seems like in about a week or 2 or 3 maximum, I would say, we're gonna have big decisions on that front, because it seems like Bakhmut, Liman, and Avdiivka are falling. Your latest, biggest fortress on the Eastern Front, it's you know. So anyway, and change those clothes, baby doll. You're with a bro and a bikini. Anyway, thank you for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth.